Tucker Beathard here with us today, Nashville-born country music artist. Tucker, thanks so much for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's maybe talk about growing up in Nashville. I talked with a couple label mates not too long ago, Cadillac 3, that also grew up in Nashville. Mm-hmm. What's it like growing up, living in Nashville, and then doing country music for a living?
It's really cool, just being around that environment, you know, and that's just always surrounds you, and you know, it's a perfect place. It's a really unique city, so it's I feel really fortunate to grow up in Nashville.
Let's talk a bit about your grassroots, your family. Your dad's a singer-songwriter. Maybe tell us what it was like growing up with that in the family, and then getting where you're at today.
Yeah, it was it was cool, you know, just being around that environment too. Always listening to my dad's demos and having him, you know, share songs with the family and whatnot. So I think naturally I just gravitated towards it and from a young age, and always loved it.
So you first picked up a guitar when?
First picked up a guitar when I was around 14 or 15.
Because you were behind the drum kit originally.
I was always behind the drum kit, yeah.
And I know I've read a few interviews that you moved out of the drum kit because you couldn't become a songwriter behind the drum kit.
Yeah, my brothers quit the band we were playing in, and I wanted to keep writing songs, but it was tough. I wanted to do some melodies and stuff, so I put my fingers wherever sounded good to me on a guitar and kind of taught myself how to play.
Well, that's a good way to go. And I'm sure Dad probably helped a little bit trying to learn, or
not really.
No.
He never really pushed me to do music or anything like that. I just always kind of did my own thing on it and whatnot.
So when you're you've got Rock On Hit Radio. Not too long ago, you were featured. We do a section called Barn Burners. Back in March, Rock On was one of my barn burners. And maybe tell us how Rock On came about, how the writing process, and how the idea of recording it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think just as songwriters, you're always looking for, a hook or a way to do a play on words or just song ideas, and that was one I just thought of, the hook, and it's really simple. I thought for sure somebody's done it before, but they didn't, so I did. And it's not about a specific girl or anything like that. It's just another song I wrote, and I don't know.
It just came out of you.
I mean, you write so many songs, get to the point where you're like, just another song. You never know
what's going to
hit. It takes a while
stick.
to see the potential in some of them.
So I actually saw you perform back in January or February when you were first performance in Canada, if I'm not mistaken, with Cadillac 3 and Chase Rice on that tour. You maybe tell us what it's like to, maybe do some international, I guess you could say, because Canada.
Yeah.
What it was like to come up and play. You weren't originally supposed to be maybe on that bill, but when you got there, what was the fan reception like?
It's awesome. It's always fun to play, anywhere, but especially to be able to, reach out as far as possible, start going in different countries. It's really cool, and it's just exciting to share, new music with anybody, especially outside of the U.S. and whatnot.
So we're talking about spreading that love, because you embarked this past weekend on your first nationwide tour, and you didn't just luck in with, just anybody. You're touring with Dierks Bentley.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not touring with somebody that's an opening,
Right.
It's Dierks Bentley. I mean, personally, one of my favorite performers, excellent live. What was the first weekend like?
It was awesome. It was, couldn't ask for a better first weekend. It was a lot of fun. Everybody was fired up to be out there, and it was just a good first week of shows.
So you started last night. You go until the end of September. I think September 22nd or something like that. Is this your real first taste of like a cross North America, let's say, tour?
No, definitely no.
No.
It's the first taste of it in an actual tour bus.
Okay.
So that's a lot cooler,
Sure.
It was just a van, and my band driving everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
We drove across the country. We drove
A
to
lot.
Washington and Oregon there, so everywhere.
But it's a new audience, though, I guess, in a sense, right? Like
Yeah.
for you.
I mean, there's some that, we were just trying to chip away at a fan base for over a year when we did that, and so there's some that come seen before, whatever. But yeah, it's a great audience to play for.
And sitting back and taking maybe lessons from somebody like Dierks how to perform on stage, is that something you see maybe be educating yourself a little bit on this tour?
I think so. I mean, I think we're definitely different in a lot of senses when it comes to artistically, but I think the biggest thing is seeing what he does off stage, because that's just as important. How he treats his crew and how he, it's just a great guy to be around and great guy to run company, and as an artist you got to do that, and so the way he does it, I think he does it better than anybody. So being around not only him as an artist, but him as just a person, is really beneficial.
No, did he bring the bar with him this time?
It goes everywhere. Yeah.
Okay, good. Now let's talk a bit about social media and how maybe it's helped you, young artist, reaching out to the people that are really, really in tune with the social media side.
Mm-hmm.
How do you use your social media, maybe to your advantage, meeting artists, meeting fans after the show, or engaging with them?
It's just turned into, well, especially for me, I've never been a huge social media fan, but now, as you utilize it because it's great for promotion and promoting things and interaction, and it's updating everybody, and yeah, it's really just a great keep everybody updated.
Totally. New music? Do we have an album coming soon, or can we look forward to that?
Yeah, the plan is early August.
Okay.
So we're gonna try to make that happen.
Right on.
We'll see.
And what was the process of putting that first album maybe together for you?
It's tough because we've been writing for a long time, so there's a big catalog of songs, and so it's tough to leave some out that I really like and try to fit the perfect or the right project together. So.
But when you put this one together, was the idea maybe putting a live show together at the same time, making sure that you had the right mix for your live show that you could perform?
Yeah, I think when you start playing live, you start taking that into mind, and then I kept going back and forth with, live show, and we'll, it's whatever, just good songs, So it's kind of, there's a fine line between, both that you got to keep in mind, and so yeah, it'll be a good album for, I think, songs and live show.
Awesome. Tucker Beathard, guys, new album dropping in August. Rock On is now at Country Radio. Make sure you get out there and request it. Thanks, Tucker, for doing this.
Thank you.
Rock on like you don't miss me.